Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about being kind during this difficult time. I told you I do this before I do my podcast. I always do a little quick meditation and ask, what guidance do people really need to hear today? And that's what came up is kindness. Kindness goes a long way. And when I want to talk to you about kindness, I'm not just talking about being kind to others. I'm talking about being kind to yourself as well. One thing that I have definitely noticed during this whole ordeal is that we're really kind of seeing people's true colors. We see the people who panic and allow fear and like this survival instinct to kick in, and they start taking everything and hoarding, and there's nothing left for everyone else. And then we see people who are willing to share. Like, I know, for example, there's a girl that I am friends with on Facebook, and she had posted on Facebook how her family gathered groceries and went around, and I think that she said that they gathered groceries and took them to 20 different neighbors who were elderly, who needed the assistance. And I just thought, that's so awesome and so cool that they did that. And even in my school district, the administrators went and they took a bus and they went around and they drove lunches to families. And that is what I think we need during this time. And I also read someone else's post on Facebook, another friend of mine, and he posted that he really thought that this was happening all for a reason, a higher purpose. That he thought that maybe this was teaching us how to be decent human beings again, how to help out our fellow man and to work together in times of crisis. And I had to say that I really kind of agreed with him. I really do think, even though no one would wish a virus or a pandemic to spread, I do think that there is a higher purpose in it. I think that it is teaching us how to be kind and basic decency once again. And of course, there are those people out there who don't have that. With every light energy, there's a dark energy, and we're seeing those people come out too. But I think we're also seeing more than anything, we're seeing the light workers come out in numbers, the people who just show kindness without even being asked to. I was listening to another person on YouTube today, and she was talking about how she went to the store, and of course there was no toilet paper left. And she went to the soap aisle, and the only thing left was this all-natural soap. And she's like, I don't really care. All natural doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just doesn't have the chemicals. So she took 2 bottles of it. And then she saw an elderly woman in the aisle, and the elderly woman said, oh my gosh, where did you get that soap? There was none left when I went down the aisle. And, she said, oh, well, they had some when I went down the aisle just a few minutes ago, but here, you can have one of mine. I don't need them both. And she gave the woman her soap, and she said, you would have thought that I gave her a bar of gold because she was so happy and ecstatic to have that bar of soap. And that is what we've become. We have people who are hoarding everything and just solely worrying about themselves and their own family and no one else. And then we have people who are reaching out and making sure that others are being provided for. Even though they may be scared for their own families, they're still taking the time to reach out and help others. And I love that. I think that that is the point. And that is what we need to be doing. And there's so many people who are griping. They don't understand the seriousness of what's going on, that we need to take precaution. And that is, I think, the biggest thing that people don't understand. It's not that they're worried that you personally might get it, because even if you did personally get it, if you're a healthy person, you would recover probably. But you're a carrier, and you may carry it to someone who isn't healthy, who wouldn't survive if they got it. And the way to keep that from happening is to keep people farther apart so that we're not spreading it. And there's so many people who don't get that. And I just want to make that perfectly clear. That is why we have to do what we're doing. And even though it seems extreme and we're like, what? Why are we doing? That's why. And it's hard, I know. Believe me, all the restaurants are closed in my state and the bars. And we used to go out to eat a couple of nights a week. So for us, it's like, oh my gosh, wow, we can't do that anymore. So now we're going to do other things like getting together at each other's houses just to visit and play games and, stay in and do fun things. Like, that's what we're going to focus on. And I think that that's what you should be focused on too. Instead of focusing on all of the ways that this could be really sucky and the ways that this might really affect you, and you think, oh, I can't go out to eat and I can't do this and I can't do that. Think about what you do have. And think about, I know this is what I'm going to see this as. This is how I view this. I'm viewing this as a time for me to get back into my regular routines of meditation, of taking time for myself, of working out, all of the things that I kept putting on the back burner because I was so busy. I was running here and there and I was working and we're still working, but we're working from home. So that gives me a little more flexibility to do more things. So for me, I'm going to focus on all of the ways in which I can refocus my energy and intention on being balanced and being grounded and having a regular spiritual routine. I talked about in my new course that I'm creating, You Are Lovable, a course all about self-love, I talk about how you have to have balance in your life. And if you followed at all or have ever heard of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the things they talk about is sharpening the saw. And it means that everything in your life is balanced. So you balance the mind, the physical, so the mind and body, the spiritual, and the emotional. So it's all balanced. So that means doing things to really make sure that that is balanced. So that means making sure that I'm working out or I go for a walk out in nature. It means making sure I'm doing my meditations, making sure I'm doing my tappings, making sure that I am eating healthy, that I'm getting plenty of sleep. It's balancing all of that. And when we are so busy sometimes, we just don't do that. So I think the whole being kind, it doesn't extend just to other people, but it's also about being kind to yourself, giving yourself permission and taking time to do all of those things that you need to do for yourself. Like for me, at some point, I'd really like to schedule a massage, and I keep saying I'm going to do that. But also, I'm going to take some time and do some energy healing. And that was one of the things too, when I meditated, and I was talking to a friend of mine too, and I did a little Reiki for her today. And she said, one of the things that would be great is if you could offer little mini sessions, because people are going to be home and, they're going to, or if they go to work, they're going to be so, like, we're all so off balance right now. It's like we're feeling this huge energetic shift, and some of us might be feeling fear. And so we're not really very grounded right now. And so she said, it would be great if you could do little like mini energy sessions. And I thought, you know what, that is one thing I could do for people. So starting this week, I am now offering mini 20-minute energy sessions for $15. So I'll meet with you, and if I think you need your energy chakras balanced, I'll do that. If you just need Reiki, whatever I think, and probably do a little mini guided meditation for you, but just to make you feel totally balanced. It would be like a quick pick-me-up after a stressful day or something. So that's one thing. I already have that on my website, on my offerings page. You can now go and purchase one of those little mini sessions. So if that's something you're interested in doing, it's something you could do on your lunch break, even if you needed to. But I think we need to be taking care of ourselves, we need to be making sure that we're getting enough sleep, that our energy's balanced. Because that was another thing she said to me, was like, are you getting enough sleep at night? And I said, you know what, I'm not, because I either have nightmares, I have dreams about like my ex or just different things that are just too much, and then it's hard for me to go back to sleep, or I wake up every hour on the hour. And I think it's all emotionally related, and I know I need to take the time to clear my own energy and to get to deal with all of that. And I just haven't had a second really to do that because it's been so busy, and because my focus hasn't been on me. My focus has been on my kids. And now I need to make sure that I'm putting a little bit of that back on myself, because I have to take care of myself too. Remember, we cannot fill anyone else's cup if our cup is empty. It is so important for you, especially during this time, to take care of yourself. And I think that one thing this has taught me is that I was not taking care of myself. I thought I was. But honestly, when I really stopped to think about it, it's impossible for me to have been taking care of myself, because after this tragedy happened in my family, my focus went completely on my children and their schooling and their mental health and their physical health and what I needed to do to be there for them. And in doing that, I just kind of neglected myself. And that's natural. That happens sometimes. We have times in our life when stress surrounds us. But it's so important that we realize that we are just as important as anyone else, and that it is important for us to take care of ourselves. Because again, I cannot stress this enough. You can't be there for someone else if you are totally exhausted, burnt out, and stressed out. And that's the point that I was getting to for a while, because I worried so much. And I needed to realize that I needed to take care of myself. And this was kind of a big wake-up call. And when the schools were like, we're not going to have school, it's going to be online school, I thought, oh my gosh, here's my chance to finally just catch up with everything in life, to take care of myself again, to get everything that I needed to get done. And I did. I mean, this might sound strange to you, and I'm going to share this, and you may be like, oh my gosh, you're so weird. But these are the kinds of things that fall behind for me when I start to get stressed out. Like my sheets, like I needed to wash them and I hadn't. And I really needed to do that. And I was like, oh, I'll do that later. Or like I really needed to go get an oil change, or I really needed to go just work out. I needed to go and just get certain things done for myself. I wanted to go buy some things so that I could make meals that I enjoyed and do things that I liked. And those are the kind of things that I kind of let go. Whenever I get stressed out, I'm like, okay, I can't think about those things right now. Like I need to focus on this. And those are the things that fall to the wayside. Like I had laundry I needed to do. I wanted to sleep on like fresh sheets, because you know how that feeling when you finally have fresh sheets and they smell good and they're warm. And I hadn't done that for myself in too long. And I hadn't done my laundry completely. I would do like little pieces of it here and there, but not a big load. I just tried to get by with doing the bare minimum for myself, is really what it boiled down to. And finally I said, you know what? I'm going to go get my hair done. I'm going to go and do my laundry. I'm going to wash my bedding, and I'm going to do all like just little things that make me feel better. I don't know about you, but it just makes me feel better to have these things and to straighten up a little bit. And that's what I did. And when the weather starts getting warmer, another thing I'm going to do is go for walks, because I love walking outside and I haven't been able to do that. And I'm going to do that again. And it's doing those things, being kind to myself, that really is going to help. It's going to benefit everyone if I feel good, because I'm going to be in a better mood and be able to be there for my children. But so often I just forget that. I forget that I need to take care of myself. I'm important too. And I know there are so many of you out there who are just like me. It's like you put everyone else ahead of yourself and you think, well, if I get a little time, I'll do something nice for myself. And the universe is saying, no, don't wait. We're not guaranteed a single second on this planet. Don't wait for the time to be right to do something good for yourself. Do it now. Take time every single day to make sure that you're filling your own cup. And while we're doing that, if our cups are full, we have more to give to others. And during this time of crisis, we could do more for others because we're not emotionally and physically drained and exhausted. And I don't know about you, but when I'm to that point, I'm useless. Like, even though I have to go do things and I want to try to do things for people, I'm not as good as I am after I've had rest and I'm eating well and I'm sleeping well and I'm doing things for myself and I feel like I'm at the top of my game. That's when I do my best work. And I need to remember that. I need to remember that it isn't selfish to take time to myself. It's necessary. And I think this is so interesting because honestly, I had a reading today with Nikki St. Hill, and I mention her because she's amazing. And if you want to have a reading, go check her out. I think she has her own Facebook page, but she does readings. And I had one with her. I said, you know what? She's come to me for Reiki before. And I said, I'll do Reiki for you if you do a reading for me because I really feel like I need a reading. And she's like, okay, sure, I'll do it. And of course, the first person that came through was my ex. And I got so much closure and clarity in that. He just kept apologizing and I know he's at peace now and he's saying he's going to help us now from the other side and that I needed to have fun and I needed to, take care of myself. And isn't it funny that we have to get messages from other people to realize that, yeah, hey, I need to take care of myself. But I tell you what, that's so true. And my great aunt came through too and said the same thing. Like, go have fun. You're a strong person. You're going to get through this, but you need to have fun too. And she's right. And he was right. And, we are going to get through this. And I need to be better about remembering that I don't have to have all of the answers. And I don't have to be the sole person responsible for everything. I can give up some of my responsibility. I can allow others to come in and help me. And I can be okay with not exactly knowing how everything's going to work out. I'm okay with that now. And she even said, even though you keep talking about how you don't feel guilt with regards to your book and your ex because of what happened, she goes, I really do think that you kind of do deep down, even though you think you don't. And I thought, you know what? I think you're right. Like subconsciously, I just subconsciously felt a little guilty myself because I thought, I'm so connected to the divine and to the spirit world. And why didn't I know something was wrong? Why didn't I step in? Why couldn't I do something? And she just kept saying, he just keeps saying, this is my destiny. And I believe that too, as much as it's hard for us sometimes to believe and to understand, I get it. Because I tell you all the time that I think that we choose our paths here, as much as that's hard to believe because we don't understand why we would choose such a difficult path. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know why I would have chosen the things that I've chosen in my life because they have not been easy. But I do know that it's through these times that I have learned and I have grown the most. And it's through the growth, through the pain, that I've found my strength. and my voice and who I really am. And if I can help anyone else by telling my story, then it's worth it. And I really just think that we're in a time, this time in our world is unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this in our lifetime. But other generations have. They've seen things like the plague and the Spanish flu. But this is new to us. We're like, what? What? We have a shot for everything. We can get rid of everything. And this is something that we're not able to get rid of so easily. And what I think is, this is telling us we really need to rely on the kindness of one another and rely on our patience and even our spirituality, because I think we as a collective can send healing to this earth every single day. And I think that's part of why we're here, is we're here to help heal Mother Earth, because our generations have destroyed her so much. And we're here to try to help heal Mother Earth once more. And I think that this is helping to do that. If we're not out polluting and everything else, when we're working together and we're staying in and we're relying on our own selves, we're working together as an entire collective to bring order and peace and love and harmony back to this world, which is what we need so much of. So I would just encourage you, while you're home, make the best of it. Maybe you might still have to go to work, and I know that kind of stinks that you have to go to work and then you can't go to restaurants and that you still have to make dinner, and I get that. But while you're home with your family, make the best of it. Treasure what you have. Maybe now would be a great time to read a good book. And you know what? I know just the perfect book. Kidding. But I do. If you haven't read my book yet, what are you waiting for? You have a lot of time now on your hands. So order my copy of Beautifully Broken on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Goodreads. Hint, hint. But in all seriousness, it's time to read a good book. Time to binge watch a series on Netflix. Time to play games with your family again. I remember we would have game night at my grandma's, and oh my gosh, we had so much fun. We would play Taboo and Categories, and we laughed so hard because my poor sister, we were always picking on her, but I remember we were playing, it was Taboo, and you have a word, and then you're not supposed to say the words that are on the card, but you're trying to give clues so people will guess the word. And her word was polo, and she's going, "You get a vaccine for this," and we were all like, one of us had to watch her to make sure she didn't say the word, and we're like, "What?" And she's like, "You get a vaccine for this." And the person watching her is like, "No, look at the word again. No, that's not the word." And we just laugh so hard, and we still talk about that to this day because we would have so much fun playing games. So make a new family tradition. Another thing I remember is when I was little, I was in grade school. We would always have to sell the Catherine Bike candy bars, and I loved them. Oh my gosh, the caramel bars, and they had mint truffles. They were amazing. And my mom was a Golden Crumbles fan, of course. We used to have to go around door to door to sell them. And for some reason, every time candy bar season came out, it always seemed like it was in October, right when the weather would always be cool. So my mom, my brother and my sister and I, we would go from door to door, and we're walking out in October and freezing our butts off, going around to all the neighbors, begging them to buy candy that was overpriced. Of course they would, though. And we'd sell all the candy, and then we'd come back to the house, and it was always so cold. So my mom would make a fire in the fireplace, and she'd make us mint hot chocolate, and we would usually watch a Disney movie or something. And those are things that I remember from my childhood. So it's time to make memories with your kids. If you don't have memories like that with them, that was a tradition. In my family, with my own kids, our tradition, one of them is Thanksgiving morning. I always buy orange rolls. They're like cinnamon rolls, but they're orange flavored. And I make them and we watch the Macy's parade together. And I would get them hot chocolate and I would have my coffee and we would be eating our orange rolls and drinking hot chocolate and coffee and watching the Macy's parade and laughing about how we didn't understand what that Broadway musical was supposed to be about. But, we would just make memories. And it doesn't matter what you do, just spend time together, because I think that's really what this is about, really and truly. It's just being kind to one another again and making memories and slowing down. Our world was spinning way too fast, and I think it's time that we had a little bit of a slowdown. So I don't see this as necessarily a negative. I think we need to be careful. But I think it's all about helping where we can. So be kind to you, be kind to others, and we're going to get through this just fine. I promise. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pull a card for you today, and the card I pulled is from the Archangel Oracle deck. It's by Doreen Virtue, and the card is Passion. It's Archangel Haniel. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. I love that. So whatever you feel like a passion you have, whatever it is in your love life or in your career, trust in what you're being given and go for it with gusto, because Archangel Haniel is with you. And you know what? It's all about loving the life we live. Don't leave this world regretting anything that you've done. All right, guys. Well, I love you so much, and I want to thank you so much for being with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please share it with others. Please leave me a review from wherever you're listening. That helps others to find me, and it helps me to fulfill my mission to help as many people heal as possible. And I want to thank you so much to all of you who are doing that and will do that and have already done that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, if you want to purchase my deck, Divine Whispers, or my book, Beautifully Broken, you can do that. I have links on my website, melissaoatman.com, where you can purchase them. If you've read my book and you really like it, I want to thank you, first of all. Secondly, if you wouldn't mind leaving me a review from wherever you purchased it, that would be amazing. That also helps other people find my book. And I want to congratulate Alyssa McKenzie. I think it's either Alyssa or Elisa McKenzie. She is the winner of my Beautifully Broken contest. She posted a picture of herself with my book, and she also left me a review on Amazon, although that wasn't part of the contest, but she did anyway, just as out of kindness. And she won the free session with me. So all she has to do is get in contact with me, and we will set up that session. If you would like to work with me, there are so many ways. I offer Reiki, past life regression, readings, and one-on-one coaching, as well as online classes. The Love Your Life course is still there on sale. And pretty soon I will be also having a new class called You Are Lovable. It's a self-love, self-worth class. I'm really excited about that. I think so many people need that. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 5:30 Central, where I do a free card reading. And I also post videos to IGTV on Instagram. Also, if you want to work with me, if you go to my website, melissaoatman.com, you can purchase a session and then just contact me so we can set up the session. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. I love you guys so much. I am sending you so much love and light. I hope you have a beautiful day and that you stay safe, healthy, and happy. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.